Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand before you to share a powerful truth. Anything you desire is within your reach. There are no limits to what you can achieve when you understand and apply certain principles that govern the universe. These principles are not mystical, they are laws, and when you align with them, you unlock the power to create your reality. Imagination is the most powerful tool we possess in shaping our lives and achieving our desires. It is the creative force that allows us to envision possibilities beyond our current circumstances. What many fail to realize is that imagination is not just idle daydreaming, it is the foundation of everything we experience in our physical world. Everything we see, every invention, every piece of art, every structure, and every life transformation began as a seed in someone's mind. Without imagination, nothing new can come into existence. It is the starting point of all creation, and understanding how to harness it is the key to unlocking the life you truly desire. When you close your eyes and allow yourself to picture your desired reality, you are engaging with a realm that is far more real than you may think. The images you create in your mind, the feelings you stir, and the scenes you vividly imagine are the blueprint of what's to come. It is in this invisible space of the mind where real transformation begins. The truth is, your outer world is a direct reflection of your inner world. If you want to change your external reality, you must first change the images you hold in your imagination. Think about every great invention or monumental achievement. Take the airplane, for instance. Before it existed in reality, it was first born in the minds of visionaries who dared to imagine something beyond the ordinary. The Wright brothers didn't just randomly stumble upon the ability to fly. They first had to imagine it. They saw themselves soaring above the ground, and they held on to that image despite countless failures and setbacks. Their persistent belief in their imagined reality eventually brought it into the physical world. This principle is not just for inventors or pioneers, it applies to every aspect of your life. Whether you want to achieve success in your career, improve your relationships, or manifest abundance, it all begins with how vividly and consistently you can imagine the life you want. Your imagination is the doorway through which all possibilities flow. What you can see in your mind's eye, you can hold in your hands. The problem many people face is that they don't realize they are already using their imagination every day, but often in negative ways. Worry, fear, and doubt are just as much products of the imagination as hope, confidence, and belief. When you worry, you are imagining a future scenario where things go wrong. You see failure in your mind, and you feel the emotions associated with it. Over time, this negative use of imagination shapes your reality, because the mind cannot distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is real. If you constantly imagine worst-case scenarios, your life will begin to mirror those fears. The key is to take control of your imagination and use it deliberately. Instead of allowing it to run on autopilot, filled with fears and doubts, you must consciously direct it toward your desired outcomes. Close your eyes and see yourself already in possession of what you want. Imagine the joy, the peace, the fulfillment. Feel it as if it's happening now, in this very moment. The more real you can make it in your mind, the more the universe will respond to this inner picture. The beautiful truth about imagination is that it is unlimited. There are no restrictions on what you can imagine. You can travel anywhere, be anyone, and achieve anything within the realm of your mind. This boundless ability to create is what makes imagination so powerful. It is the ultimate tool for designing your life. When you learn to control it, to focus it on what you truly desire, you will find that life begins to shift in profound ways. In this process, it is important to understand that imagination is not bound by time. What you imagine now can unfold in the future. The mind does not operate in linear time, and neither does the process of creation. So even if your current reality seems far from what you are imagining, don't be discouraged. Trust the process. By consistently focusing on the desired outcome in your imagination, you are setting in motion forces that will bring it to fruition. Imagination is the foundation of everything you will ever achieve. It is the first step in transforming your life. Use it wisely, nurture it, and trust that the images you hold in your mind are the seeds of your future reality. By mastering the art of deliberate imagination, you are tapping into the creative power that lies within you, waiting to shape the world according to your deepest desires. Faith in the unseen is one of the most profound principles that governs our ability to achieve what we desire in life. It is a belief in something that has not yet materialized in the physical world, but is nonetheless real and attainable. To most, this might seem illogical. How can you believe in something that you cannot see, touch, or verify with your senses? But that is exactly where the power of faith lies. Faith transcends the need for physical evidence, and instead roots itself in the conviction that the unseen is just as real, if not more so, than the visible. This is the key to unlocking goals, dreams, and desires that currently seem out of reach. The unseen refers to anything that exists beyond the scope of the five senses. It is the realm of possibilities, potential, and creation. Everything that exists in the physical world began in the unseen. It started as an idea, a thought, a vision. Consider the tallest buildings, the fastest machines, the most innovative technologies. They all originated in someone's mind long before they became tangible objects. What bridges the gap between the idea and the manifestation is faith. Faith is the assurance that the unseen will be made visible in due time. It is not a passive hope or wishful thinking. It is an active, living belief that what you are working toward or dreaming of already exists in a higher realm, even if it is not yet apparent in your immediate surroundings. This conviction allows you to move forward with purpose, despite any temporary setbacks or doubts. When you have faith in the unseen, you are not discouraged by the lack of evidence in your present reality, because you understand that what you desire is already on its way to you. One of the greatest challenges people face is the tendency to doubt when there is no visible progress. We live in a world that conditions us to rely on what we can see and measure, but faith requires us to look beyond that. To trust in something you cannot yet see demands a shift in your mindset. You must train yourself to focus on the feeling and the certainty of the outcome, rather than on the absence of it. This shift allows you to operate from a place of inner knowing, where you are no longer at the mercy of external circumstances. Imagine a farmer who plants seeds in the soil. After planting, there is no immediate sign of growth. The ground looks the same as it did before. But the farmer does not dig up the seeds every day to check if they are growing. He knows that there is an unseen process happening beneath the surface. He waters the seeds, nurtures them, and continues to care for the soil, trusting that, in time, the plants will sprout. This is faith in the unseen. Just because he cannot see the growth at first does not mean it is not happening. Likewise, in life, when we set goals or pursue our dreams, there may be periods where nothing seems to be happening. But this is the time when faith is most crucial. You must continue to believe in your desired outcome, even when there are no visible signs of progress. The process of creation happens behind the scenes, in the unseen realm, and requires time and patience to unfold in the physical world. Faith sustains you during this period, allowing you to keep moving forward even when the results are not immediately evident. Faith in the unseen also teaches you to let go of the need for control. Often we become fixated on how things should happen, when they should happen, and in what manner. But faith asks us to trust that the universe, or whatever higher power you believe in, is orchestrating things perfectly behind the scenes. It reminds us that our job is not to micromanage the process, but to focus on the end result and trust that the path will reveal itself as we go. This surrender is not about giving up. It is about releasing the need to force things into being and allowing them to unfold naturally. Faith brings with it a sense of peace and confidence. When you trust in the unseen, you are no longer thrown off course by temporary difficulties or delays. You remain calm in the face of challenges, because you know that the outer world is catching up to the inner reality you have already created. This inner certainty becomes your anchor, guiding you through uncertain times with grace and assurance. Faith in the unseen is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It is the fuel that powers your journey, the foundation that keeps you grounded, and the light that guides you forward. By cultivating this faith, you align yourself with the natural laws of creation, allowing your desires to move from the realm of the invisible to the realm of the tangible. Living in the end is one of the most powerful principles for achieving your goals and creating the life you desire. It means to mentally, emotionally, and spiritually embody the state of having already achieved your desired outcome, long before it becomes a reality in the physical world. By doing so, you align your inner world with the result you want, and in turn, this inner alignment influences your external circumstances. This principle works because the mind does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is real, so by living in the end, you are effectively programming your mind and environment to bring your desired future into existence. The concept of living in the end begins with the understanding that creation happens first within you. Everything you experience in your outer world is a reflection of your inner state of being. If you want to change your life, you must first change how you think, feel, and perceive yourself. Living in the end requires you to mentally place yourself in the position of already having what you seek. Whether it's a new job, a loving relationship, financial success, or better health, you must act, think, and feel as though it is already yours. This is not pretending or wishful thinking, it is a deliberate shift in consciousness. When you live in the end, you are no longer focused on wanting or needing your goal. You have already transcended the feeling of lack or desire, because in your mind it is already accomplished. This mental state is crucial, because when you desire something intensely, you are acknowledging that you don't have it, which keeps you in a state of separation from your goal. By living in the end, you bypass the feelings of want and instead dwell in the feelings of fulfillment and satisfaction, aligning yourself with the frequency of your desired outcome. This shift in focus is what draws your goal toward you. An essential part of living in the end is cultivating the emotions that accompany the achievement of your goal. If your desire is to be successful, how would you feel if you were already successful? If you desire a loving relationship, what emotions would you experience if you were already in that relationship? These feelings, whether they are joy, peace, gratitude, or love, are the key to bridging the gap between your present reality and your desired future. By feeling these emotions in the present, you are energetically attracting the circumstances that match those feelings. One common challenge people face when trying to live in the end is the temptation to look at their current reality and get discouraged. It's easy to say, but this isn't my reality yet. I don't have what I want. However, the essence of this practice is to shift your focus away from what you see and place it firmly on what you know will be. Remember, your current reality is simply the result of your past thoughts and feelings. It does not define your future unless you allow it to. By persistently living in the end, you gradually shift the momentum of your life toward the fulfillment of your desires, regardless of what your present circumstances suggest. Living in the end also requires a certain level of trust and surrender. While it is important to maintain the vision of your desired outcome, you must also let go of the how and when it will happen. The details of how your goal will come into being are not for you to worry about. Trust that the universe or the natural flow of life will arrange the necessary circumstances to bring your desire into reality. When you live in the end, you are not trying to force things to happen, you are allowing them to unfold naturally, because you already feel as though they have occurred. Furthermore, living in the end allows you to take inspired action. When you are mentally and emotionally aligned with your goal, you will naturally start to behave in ways that support its manifestation. You will take steps that feel effortless and guided, rather than actions driven by fear or desperation. These actions will feel aligned with the future you have already envisioned, and they will bring you closer to your desired outcome. This is because your inner state is in harmony with your outer actions, creating a flow that accelerates the manifestation of your goal. Living in the end is not about ignoring reality or denying the present circumstances. It is about choosing to focus on the reality you are creating, rather than the reality you currently see. By doing so, you shift your energy and attention toward the future you want, instead of being anchored by the present conditions that may not yet reflect your desires. This shift in perspective creates a powerful momentum that eventually brings your inner vision into alignment with your outer world. Living in the end is about embodying the mental and emotional state of already having achieved your goal. By thinking, feeling, and acting as if your desire is already a reality, you align yourself with the outcome you want, and you attract the circumstances that will bring it into being. It is a practice of faith, focus, and emotional alignment that can transform your life, allowing you to experience the fulfillment of your dreams. Persistence in thought is a critical element in achieving any goal or desire. It refers to the consistent and unwavering focus on a particular idea, vision, or outcome, despite obstacles, doubts, or external circumstances. The mind is a powerful tool, capable of shaping your reality, but it requires discipline and persistence to direct it effectively. When you hold a clear and persistent focus on your desired outcome, you engage the creative forces within you to bring that vision into existence. However, this process demands more than fleeting thoughts or wishful thinking. It requires a sustained mental effort, regardless of challenges that may arise along the way. The importance of persistence in thought becomes clear when you recognize how easily the mind can become distracted or influenced by negativity. Throughout the day, your mind is bombarded by various thoughts, opinions, and sensory input. Without intentional focus, it can easily stray from your goal, latching onto doubt, fear, or frustration. Persistence is what keeps you anchored to your vision, even when your external circumstances seem to contradict it. It is the ability to continue believing in the possibility of your goal, regardless of temporary setbacks or delays. Many people give up on their dreams because they expect instant results or allow themselves to be swayed by the lack of immediate progress. They start out with enthusiasm, but as time passes without visible success, they begin to question whether their goal is achievable. This wavering in thought weakens their creative power, and soon they abandon the very vision they once held dear. Persistence in thought, however, means holding on to that vision with unwavering conviction, no matter how long it takes. It is the belief that the unseen forces are working behind the scenes, and that your mental focus is actively shaping your reality, even if the results aren't immediately visible. Consider the process of planting a seed. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't see immediate growth. Days, weeks, or even months may pass before you see any signs of life, but you continue to water it and nurture the soil, trusting that growth is happening beneath the surface. Similarly, when you set a goal and focus your thoughts on it, the results may not appear right away. Persistence in thought is like tending to that seed, continuing to nurture your vision, knowing that growth is happening even when you cannot see it. It is this consistent mental effort that ultimately brings about the desired outcome. One of the key aspects of persistence in thought is overcoming doubt. Doubt is the enemy of persistence because it causes you to question your ability to achieve your goal. Doubt may arise from external circumstances, such as setbacks or failures, but it often originates within. Your mind may present you with reasons why your goal is impossible, or why it's taking too long. To persist in thought, you must recognize doubt as a temporary state of mind and refuse to let it derail you. This requires a strong belief in your own power to create and a deep trust in the process. Another challenge to persistence in thought is the presence of conflicting thoughts. You may hold a desire for success, for example, but if you constantly entertain thoughts of failure or fear, you are sending mixed signals to your subconscious mind. These conflicting thoughts can dilute your focus and slow down the manifestation of your goal. To be persistent in thought, you must maintain clarity and consistency in your thinking. This means regularly affirming your desired outcome and actively rejecting any thoughts that contradict it. The more consistently you can hold your focus, the faster your goal will materialize. Persistence in thought also requires patience. In today's fast-paced world, people often expect quick results. When things don't happen immediately, they become discouraged and give up. However, the process of creation is not always instant. It takes time for your thoughts and energy to align with the physical world. By remaining patient and continuing to focus on your goal, you allow the natural process of manifestation to unfold. Patience, combined with persistent focus, ensures that you stay on course, even when the journey takes longer than expected. Moreover, persistence in thought cultivates resilience. When you are able to maintain your focus despite challenges, you develop a sense of inner strength and determination. This resilience carries over into other areas of your life, making you more capable of handling adversity. So each time you persist through difficulty, you reinforce your belief in your own power to create your reality. This belief strengthens your focus and brings you closer to your desired outcome. Persistence in thought is a vital component of achieving any goal. It requires discipline, patience, and unwavering belief in your ability to create the reality you desire. By maintaining a clear and consistent focus on your goal, and by resisting doubt and negativity, you align yourself with the creative forces necessary to bring your vision into being. Just as a seed grows with consistent care, your goals will come to fruition when you nurture them with persistent thought, allowing them to manifest in their own time. Detachment from the how is an essential aspect of manifesting your desires and achieving your goals. It means releasing the need to control or dictate the specific way in which your desired outcome will unfold. While having a clear vision of what you want is important, obsessing over the details of how it will happen can create unnecessary stress, anxiety, and resistance. When you detach from the how, you open yourself up to possibilities that may be far greater or more efficient than anything you could have planned. By trusting in the natural flow of life, you allow your desires to manifest in ways that you may not have anticipated, yet are perfectly aligned with your ultimate goal. Many people get stuck in the how because they feel they need to micromanage every step of the process. This often stems from a belief that if they don't control the path, things might not work out as they hope. However, this need for control can become a source of frustration and doubt, especially when progress doesn't seem to happen according to their expectations. Detachment is not about giving up on your goal. It's about understanding that the universe, or the natural order of life, often has a more efficient, creative, or surprising way to bring about your desired result. By focusing too much on the specific means by which your goal must be achieved, you limit the potential for unexpected opportunities and solutions to present themselves. One of the keys to detaching from the how is to focus on the end result and cultivate a sense of trust. The role of your mind is to clearly define what it is you want, to feel the emotions associated with already having it, and to maintain a positive and expectant attitude. However, the specifics of how your desire will come to fruition are not for you to worry about. By trusting that the path will be revealed in time, you allow the process to unfold naturally. Trust is the bridge between desire and manifestation. It allows you to relax and release any tension or anxiety about when or how your goal will come into being. When you detach from the how, you also cultivate a sense of openness. Instead of clinging to one particular method or outcome, you remain flexible and willing to adapt to whatever path presents itself. This openness invites serendipity and synchronicity into your life. Opportunities may arise that you never would have considered, or doors may open that lead you in an unexpected direction toward your goal. See, this is because when you release your tight grip on the process, you make space for the universe to work in ways that are beyond your current level of understanding. Detachment from the how also allows you to move through life with greater ease and flow. When you are overly focused on trying to figure out each step of the process, you create mental and emotional resistance. This resistance often takes the form of stress, frustration, or even burnout as you try to force things to happen in a specific way or time frame. However, when you detach from the need to control every aspect of the process, you free yourself from this burden. You can continue to take inspired action toward your goal, but without the pressure of needing everything to unfold exactly as you've envisioned. Another important aspect of detaching from the how is letting go of timelines. Often people become fixated on when their goal will manifest. They set arbitrary deadlines and become discouraged when things don't happen according to their schedule. However, the timing of your manifestation is not something you can always control. The universe operates on its own schedule, and sometimes things need to align in ways that are not immediately apparent. By letting go of the need for everything to happen in a certain time frame, you allow the process to unfold in its own perfect timing. This doesn't mean you stop working toward your goal, rather, it means that you remain patient and trusting, knowing that the timing will be right when it happens. Detachment from the how also reduces the mental clutter that can block your creativity and intuition. When you are too focused on controlling the process, your mind becomes filled with worry, fear, and endless planning. This mental noise can drown out your intuition and prevent you from recognizing opportunities that may be right in front of you. By letting go of the need to figure out every detail, you create mental space for clarity and insight to emerge. Often, the best ideas and solutions come when you least expect them, when your mind is relaxed and open. Ultimately, detachment from the how is about trusting the bigger picture. It is the understanding that life often has a way of unfolding in ways that exceed our expectations. While you may have a plan, life might have an even better one. By focusing on the end result and trusting in the process, you free yourself from the need to control every step and allow yourself to be guided toward your desired outcome. This level of trust and surrender doesn't diminish your power, it enhances it. When you let go of the how, you are allowing the universe to work with you, bringing you the opportunities, resources, and circumstances that will lead to the fulfillment of your goal in the most perfect and harmonious way possible. Gratitude for the fulfillment of desires is a transformative practice that not only enhances your emotional well-being, but also accelerates the manifestation of your goals. This principle is rooted in the understanding that gratitude acts as a powerful magnet, attracting more of what you appreciate into your life. When you express gratitude for what you have and what you desire as though it has already been fulfilled, you align yourself with the energy of abundance. This alignment opens the door for even greater blessings and opportunities to flow into your experience. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance. In our daily lives, it is easy to become fixated on what we do not have or what is not working. This mindset can lead to feelings of frustration, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. However, when you consciously choose to focus on what you are grateful for, you begin to recognize the richness that already exists in your life. This shift in perspective fosters a sense of contentment and fulfillment, regardless of your current circumstances. It reminds you that you are already surrounded by abundance and that there is much to appreciate. Practicing gratitude for fulfillment involves a proactive approach to acknowledging both your current blessings and your future desires. It requires you to cultivate a sense of appreciation for the things you wish to manifest, as if they are already part of your reality. For instance, if you desire financial abundance, you can express gratitude for the money you currently have, while also thanking the universe for the increased wealth that is on its way to you. By embodying this sense of gratitude, you send a powerful message to the universe that you are open to receiving and worthy of abundance. This practice also taps into the emotional state associated with fulfillment. When you feel grateful, you are likely to experience emotions such as joy, love, and contentment. These elevated feelings resonate at a higher frequency, which attracts more positive experiences into your life. The energy of gratitude creates a vibrational alignment with your desires, making it easier for them to manifest. It helps you cultivate a mindset that is receptive to opportunities, allowing you to notice and act upon the signs and synchronicities that guide you toward your goals. One of the key benefits of expressing gratitude for fulfillment is that it fosters resilience during challenging times. Life is filled with ups and downs, and when faced with obstacles, it can be easy to lose sight of your goals. However, gratitude serves as a stabilizing force, reminding you of the progress you have made and the blessings that surround you. In moments of difficulty, reflecting on what you are grateful for can provide the motivation and clarity needed to keep moving forward. It reinforces the belief that challenges are often temporary and that your dreams are still attainable. To integrate gratitude for fulfillment into your daily life, consider keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, take a moment to write down 3 to 5 things you are grateful for, focusing not only on what you have, but also on what you desire. Imagine that you have already received these desires and write as if they are your current reality. For example, instead of simply stating, "I am grateful for my health," you could express, "I am deeply grateful for my vibrant health and the energy that fills my life each day." This practice not only strengthens your connection to gratitude, but also reinforces your belief in the fulfillment of your desires. Another powerful way to cultivate gratitude is through visualization. Spend time each day visualizing your desires as if they have already been achieved. While doing this, evoke the feelings of gratitude and joy associated with that fulfillment. Imagine how your life will change, the people you will share it with, and the experiences you will have. This practice not only enhances your emotional connection to your goals, but also aligns your subconscious mind with the reality you wish to create. Moreover, expressing gratitude in your daily interactions can further amplify its effects. Acknowledge the contributions of others in your life, whether it's a friend, family member, or colleague. A simple thank you can go a long way in fostering positive relationships and creating a supportive environment. When you express gratitude toward others, you not only uplift them but also reinforce your own feelings of abundance and fulfillment. For fulfillment is ultimately about creating a positive feedback loop. The more you express gratitude for what you have and what you desire, the more abundance flows into your life. This practice cultivates a mindset of appreciation, allowing you to see the opportunities and blessings that surround you. It empowers you to remain optimistic and open, even in the face of challenges, and strengthens your belief in the realization of your dreams. Gratitude for the fulfillment of your desires is a powerful practice that can transform your life. By focusing on the abundance that already exists and expressing appreciation for your future desires as if they are already realized, you align yourself with the energy of manifestation. This practice enhances your emotional state, fosters resilience, and opens the door for even greater blessings to flow into your experience. As you cultivate a mindset of gratitude, you empower yourself to create the life you truly desire, filled with joy, abundance, and fulfillment. In conclusion, the journey to achieving your goals is deeply intertwined with the principles of imagination, faith, persistence, detachment, and gratitude. By harnessing the power of your thoughts and emotions, you can create a compelling vision of the life you desire and align yourself with the energies that will bring it into being. Remember that each step you take, whether it's living in the end, remaining persistent, or expressing gratitude for your fulfillment, plays a crucial role in manifesting your dreams. Trust the process, stay open to possibilities, and allow the universe to guide you on this transformative journey. Thank you for your time and attention, and I wish you all the success and fulfillment in your endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, we often believe that peace is something to be gained, something outside ourselves waiting to be found. Yet I stand before you today to remind you that peace is not something to be achieved, but something to be realized. It's already within you, patiently waiting to be unveiled, waiting for you to clear away the debris that blocks it from flowing freely. The concept that your inner world shapes your outer reality is an age-old truth, yet often overlooked in the rush of everyday life. At the core of this idea is the understanding that our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs are not merely passive states of being, they are the creative force behind the circumstances we experience. It suggests that everything you see in your external world, from your relationships to your successes and challenges, is a direct reflection of what is happening within you. When we talk about the inner world, we are referring to the realm of your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and expectations. This inner world operates much like a mirror. If you cultivate thoughts of abundance, love, and peace, you will find those qualities reflected back to you in your external circumstances. Conversely, if your inner dialogue is filled with negativity, fear, or doubt, you will find yourself surrounded by challenges, setbacks, and conflict. Consider the simple example of waking up in the morning and feeling stressed or anxious. You might notice that on days when you begin with negative thoughts or dread, everything seems to go wrong. You hit traffic, you argue with a colleague, or something unexpected throws off your plans. The events themselves are neutral, but your perception of them becomes colored by your inner state. It feels as though the world is working against you, when in fact, your inner world has created a lens through which everything is seen in a negative light. On the other hand, when you wake up feeling grateful, confident, and at ease, your day often unfolds in a more harmonious way. Even when challenges arise, you handle them with a calm mindset. You find solutions easily, and you attract helpful people or situations. This is the power of the inner world manifesting itself outwardly. It's not that life has no challenges, but your inner world determines how you navigate and ultimately shape your reality. One of the key principles behind this idea is that thoughts are creative. Every thought you think sends out a frequency, and this frequency attracts corresponding experiences into your life. This is often referred to as the law of attraction, but more fundamentally, it's about the way your thoughts and beliefs create the framework through which you perceive and interact with the world. If you believe that life is a struggle, your mind will unconsciously seek out situations that confirm this belief. On the contrary, if you believe that life is full of opportunities, you will find them everywhere. Changing your outer reality then requires a conscious shift in your inner world. It's easy to get caught up in the external conditions, blaming them for your discontent or frustration. But the real power lies in recognizing that it is your inner state that holds the key to transformation. If you want peace, abundance, and joy in your external world, you must first cultivate these qualities within. This is why practices such as meditation, visualization, and affirmations are so powerful. They train your mind to focus on what you want to experience, rather than what you fear or want to avoid. The process of shaping your outer reality begins with self-awareness. You must become aware of the thoughts and beliefs that dominate your mind on a daily basis. Many people operate on autopilot, allowing old patterns of fear, doubt, and limitation to guide their thinking. These mental habits create the same results over and over again, leading to frustration and the belief that change is impossible. But the truth is, by changing your inner dialogue, you change your outer reality. You are the creator of your life experience, whether you realize it or not. Every moment offers you a choice to shape your inner world in a way that serves you. By choosing thoughts of love, gratitude, and abundance, you align yourself with a reality that reflects these qualities back to you. Life doesn't happen to you, it responds to you. The moment you realize that your inner world is the architect of your reality, you step into the true power of creation. Everything you need to live a life of peace, fulfillment, and abundance is already within you, waiting to be consciously shaped and expressed outwardly. Limiting beliefs are like invisible chains that bind us, keeping us stuck in patterns of thought and behavior that prevent us from realizing our full potential. These beliefs are often deeply ingrained, passed down from family, society, or personal experiences, and they shape how we view ourselves and what we believe is possible. The trouble is, most of us aren't even fully aware of the limiting beliefs that are guiding our lives. We accept them as truths, when in reality they are just perceptions we've picked up along the way. To live a truly fulfilled life, you must stop identifying with these limiting beliefs. One of the most common limiting beliefs is the idea that I'm not enough. This belief can manifest in various ways. I'm not smart enough, I'm not talented enough, I'm not worthy enough, and so on. When you internalize this belief, it colors everything you do. You may shy away from new opportunities, believing you're not capable, or you may settle for less in relationships, thinking you don't deserve better. The belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You unconsciously create situations that confirm your belief, reinforcing the idea that you're not enough. But the truth is, these beliefs are not rooted in reality. They are rooted in fear, self-doubt, and past experiences. The first step in breaking free from limiting beliefs is recognizing them. Often, limiting beliefs hide in the background, influencing decisions without us realizing it. Pay attention to the thoughts that arise when you're faced with challenges or opportunities. Do you tell yourself, I can't do this, or this isn't for people like me? These are clues that a limiting belief is at play. Once you've identified a limiting belief, question its validity. Where did this belief come from? Is it based on actual facts, or is it something you've come to accept without examining it? Many of these beliefs are inherited. Perhaps your parents or teachers told you, either directly or indirectly, that you weren't capable in some way. Or maybe you failed at something early in life, and since then, you've carried the belief that failure is a reflection of your worth. While these experiences shape our worldview, they are not the final word on who we are or what we can achieve. You have the power to rewrite the script and let go of beliefs that no longer serve you. It's important to understand that beliefs are not set in stone, they are malleable. When you realize that your beliefs are simply thoughts you've repeated over time, you begin to see that you have the power to choose new thoughts and create new beliefs. Start by replacing limiting beliefs with empowering ones. For example, instead of saying, "I'm not good enough," try saying, "I am capable and deserving of success." It may feel strange at first, especially if the limiting belief has been with you for a long time, but over time the new belief will take root. The process of changing limiting beliefs requires patience and self-compassion. These beliefs have often been part of your identity for years, and it can be uncomfortable to let them go. You may even experience resistance as your mind clings to what is familiar. But remember, your beliefs are not your identity. They are simply constructs of the mind that can be altered. As you begin to detach from limiting beliefs, you'll notice a shift in how you approach life. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach will begin to feel possible. You'll take more risks, pursue your passions, and approach challenges with confidence. Breaking free from limiting beliefs also involves letting go of the need for external validation. Many of us hold on to these beliefs because they've been reinforced by others. We crave approval and avoid taking risks because we fear rejection or failure. But living a life dictated by the expectations of others only strengthens limiting beliefs. When you stop seeking validation from others and start trusting in your own worth and abilities, you break the cycle of limitation. The only thing standing between you and your highest potential is your own belief system. By identifying and releasing limiting beliefs, you create the space for new possibilities and opportunities to emerge. You are not defined by the past or by the opinions of others. The power to create your reality lies within you, and it begins by choosing to believe in your limitless potential. Stop identifying with the beliefs that hold you back and embrace the truth that you are capable, worthy, and enough just as you are. The need to control is one of the most pervasive and deeply ingrained tendencies in human nature. We seek control over our circumstances, relationships, and even our emotions, believing that by doing so, we can guarantee our happiness, success, or security. Yet, the harder we try to control, the more elusive peace becomes. Control is an illusion, and clinging to it leads to frustration, anxiety, and disappointment. To truly experience freedom and inner peace, it is essential to surrender the need to control. At the heart of our desire to control is fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of not being enough. We mistakenly believe that if we can just manage every aspect of our lives, we can prevent negative outcomes. But life is unpredictable, and no matter how much effort we put into controlling things, the unexpected will always happen. By trying to micromanage life, we set ourselves up for constant disappointment. We become rigid, resistant to change, and overly focused on outcomes, often missing the beauty of the present moment. Surrendering control doesn't mean becoming passive or giving up on your desires and goals. It means letting go of the need to dictate how everything unfolds. It's about trusting that things will work out as they should, even if the path looks different from what you envisioned. When you stop trying to control every detail, you allow life to flow naturally, often bringing about outcomes far better than anything you could have planned. One of the key areas where people often struggle with control is in relationships. We want others to behave in ways that meet our expectations, and when they don't, it creates tension and conflict. But attempting to control another person's actions, thoughts, or feelings is not only futile, it's damaging to the relationship. True connection comes from accepting others as they are, and recognizing that they have their own path, separate from ours. When you let go of the need to control others, you create space for authenticity, growth, and deeper connection. The same principle applies to situations and outcomes. Many people become fixated on a particular result, whether it's achieving a career goal, obtaining a certain level of wealth, or reaching a milestone in their personal lives. While having goals is important, becoming overly attached to how and when those goals manifest can lead to unnecessary stress and frustration. Life rarely moves in a straight line, and sometimes the detours are the very things that lead to greater success or fulfillment. By surrendering your need to control the outcome, you open yourself to possibilities you hadn't considered, allowing life to surprise you in positive ways. A crucial part of surrendering control is cultivating trust in yourself, in the process, and in life itself. When you trust that things will work out as they should, you can relax into the present moment rather than obsessively planning for the future. This doesn't mean you stop making efforts or setting intentions. Rather, you release the attachment to how things should happen. You do your best and then let go, trusting that whatever unfolds is in your best interest, even if it doesn't look like it at first. Another benefit of letting go of control is that it reduces anxiety. Much of our anxiety comes from worrying about things we cannot control, whether it's the behavior of others, unforeseen circumstances, or future events. When you accept that some things are beyond your control, you free yourself from the constant need to fix, manage, or anticipate every possible outcome. This shift allows you to experience life with more ease and presence, focusing your energy on what you can control: your thoughts, actions, and attitudes. Surrendering control also opens the door to inner peace. The constant need to control creates a state of inner conflict, where you are always fighting against the natural flow of life. When you release that need, you align yourself with the present moment, where true peace resides. You stop resisting what is and start embracing what could be, allowing life to unfold with more grace and harmony. Surrendering the need to control is not about giving up, it's about letting go of the illusion that you can control everything. It's about trusting life and allowing it to flow in its own perfect way. When you release the need to control, you find that life becomes more enjoyable, relationships more fulfilling, and your inner world more peaceful. You begin to understand that surrender is not a sign of weakness, but an act of great strength and wisdom. Through surrender, you step into a life of freedom, peace, and limitless possibilities. Dwelling on the past is a habit that many people find hard to break. We often revisit old memories, relive past mistakes, or cling to moments that have long since passed, believing that by doing so, we can somehow change or make sense of them. Yet, the more we fixate on the past, the more we disconnect from the present and the opportunities it holds. The habit of dwelling on what has already happened is not only unproductive, it can be emotionally draining and limit our ability to grow and move forward. One of the main reasons people dwell on the past is the feeling of unresolved pain or regret. We may replay moments where we felt wronged, embarrassed, or made decisions we now view as mistakes. The mind, in its attempt to process these events, can become stuck in a loop, replaying scenarios and questioning what if. What if I had done things differently? What if I had made a better choice? What if things had turned out another way? However, no amount of reflection can change what has already occurred. By continually going over past events, we trap ourselves in a cycle of rumination that prevents us from experiencing peace in the present. Moreover, holding on to past hurts can weigh heavily on your emotional state. Each time you relive a painful memory, your body reacts as if the event is happening all over again, flooding you with the same emotions of sadness, anger, or guilt. Over time, this can lead to chronic stress, anxiety, and even depression. Dwelling on the past keeps you tethered to negative emotions and prevents you from healing. To break free from this habit, it's crucial to recognize that the past cannot be changed. It can only be learned from and accepted. Acceptance is key to ending the habit of dwelling on the past. Acceptance does not mean condoning or excusing past events, but rather acknowledging that what happened is part of your life's journey. Every experience, whether good or bad, has contributed to who you are today. Instead of seeing past events as mistakes or missed opportunities, you can choose to see them as lessons that have shaped your understanding of life and yourself. This shift in perspective allows you to let go of the need to change the past and focus instead on how you can grow from it. Forgiveness is another essential element in letting go of the past. Whether it's forgiving yourself or others, holding on to grudges, or self-blame only prolongs your attachment to the past. By forgiving, you free yourself from the emotional burden of resentment and guilt. Forgiveness is not about forgetting or excusing wrongs, but about releasing the hold those memories have over you. It's about giving yourself permission to move on and reclaim your emotional freedom. Another way to stop dwelling on the past is to focus on the present moment. When you live fully in the present, there is little room for ruminating over what has already happened. Mindfulness practices such as meditation, deep breathing, or simply paying attention to your surroundings can help anchor you in the now. By being present, you allow yourself to experience life as it is, rather than through the lens of the past. This practice helps you appreciate what you have in the current moment and opens you up to new possibilities. It's important to create new memories and experiences that propel you forward. When we dwell on the past, we often feel stuck in a stagnant state, as if nothing will ever change. Actively seeking out new experiences, setting goals, or even engaging in creative activities can shift your focus from the past to the future. By doing this, you remind yourself that life is full of new opportunities for joy, learning, and connection. The past becomes less significant when you fill your life with meaning and purpose in the present. It's crucial to be kind to yourself in this process. Breaking the habit of dwelling on the past doesn't happen overnight, and it's normal to slip into old patterns from time to time. When this happens, resist the urge to be self-critical. Instead, gently remind yourself that you are no longer defined by the past, and that your power lies in the choices you make today. Self-compassion allows you to move forward with grace, without being weighed down by judgment or regret. Ending the habit of dwelling on the past is a transformative step toward living a more peaceful and fulfilling life. The past, with all its memories and emotions, is a part of you, but it does not have to define your present or future. By accepting what has happened, practicing forgiveness, focusing on the present, and creating new experiences, you can release the hold the past has on you. In doing so, you open yourself up to the limitless possibilities that exist in the here and now. The inner critic is that nagging voice inside your head that constantly questions your worth, abilities, and decisions. It's the part of you that magnifies your mistakes, amplifies your insecurities, and creates a narrative that can be both harsh and unrelenting. While it's natural to experience self-doubt from time to time, allowing this inner critic to dominate your thoughts can be detrimental to your mental health and overall well-being. Learning to silence this voice is essential for fostering self-compassion, confidence, and a more fulfilling life. The inner critic often stems from various influences, including childhood experiences, societal expectations, and personal insecurities. It can take many forms, such as perfectionism, comparison to others, or fear of failure. This inner dialogue may tell you that you're not smart enough, talented enough, or deserving of happiness. Such thoughts create a cycle of negativity that can lead to anxiety, low self-esteem, and even depression. The more you listen to this critical voice, the more you become trapped in a limiting mindset that prevents you from pursuing your goals and dreams. The first step in silencing the inner critic is awareness. Pay attention to your self-talk throughout the day. What messages are you sending to yourself? Are they constructive or destructive? Many people operate on autopilot, allowing negative self-talk to dictate their emotions and actions without questioning its validity. When you become aware of this inner dialogue, you can begin to challenge it. Ask yourself, is this thought true? Is it based on evidence, or is it simply a reflection of my fears and insecurities? By examining your thoughts critically, you can start to distinguish between helpful feedback and harmful criticism. Once you identify negative thoughts, it's essential to reframe them. This means replacing self-critical thoughts with more compassionate and constructive ones. For example, if your inner critic says, "I always mess things up," reframe it to, "I am learning and growing from my experiences." This shift in perspective allows you to cultivate a more supportive inner dialogue. Instead of viewing mistakes as failures, see them as opportunities for growth and learning. By reframing your thoughts, you begin to weaken the power of the inner critic. Another effective strategy for silencing the inner critic is practicing self-compassion. Self-compassion involves treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend. When you make a mistake or face a setback, instead of berating yourself, acknowledge that everyone experiences challenges. Speak to yourself with gentleness and understanding. Remind yourself that imperfection is a part of the human experience. Practicing self-compassion helps to counteract the negative messages from your inner critic and fosters a more positive self-image. Mindfulness is also a powerful tool in silencing the inner critic. By cultivating mindfulness, you learn to observe your thoughts without judgment. Instead of becoming entangled in the critical voice, you can recognize it as just that, a voice, not an absolute truth. Techniques such as meditation, deep breathing, and grounding exercises can help you cultivate mindfulness. When you create space between yourself and your thoughts, you begin to see them for what they are: fleeting, not definitive. This allows you to detach from the inner critic's negativity and focus on the present moment. Surrounding yourself with positive influences is another effective way to silence the inner critic. The people you spend time with can greatly impact your self-perception. Seek out those who uplift and inspire you rather than those who contribute to your self-doubt. Engaging with supportive friends or mentors can provide valuable encouragement and perspective. Their positive reinforcement can help drown out the critical voice and remind you of your strengths and capabilities. Consider keeping a journal to track your thoughts and feelings. Writing can be a powerful way to process emotions and gain clarity. Document instances when the inner critic speaks up and explore the underlying beliefs driving those thoughts. By putting your feelings on paper, you can gain insight and distance from the negativity, allowing you to develop a more balanced perspective. Remember that silencing the inner critic is an ongoing process. It takes time and practice to shift your mindset, and setbacks may occur along the way. Be patient with yourself as you navigate this journey. Celebrate small victories and recognize that progress is not always linear. The goal is not to eliminate the inner critic entirely, but to reduce its power and influence over your life. Silencing the inner critic is crucial for building self-confidence and fostering a healthier relationship with yourself. By cultivating awareness, reframing negative thoughts, practicing self-compassion, and embracing mindfulness, you can begin to diminish the critic's hold on your life. Surrounding yourself with positive influences and documenting your experiences can also support this journey. Ultimately, learning to silence the inner critic allows you to embrace your true self, pursue your passions, and live a life filled with joy and fulfillment. You are worthy of kindness, understanding, and love, especially from yourself. In a world filled with constant noise, distractions, and external demands, many people find themselves on a relentless quest for peace. We often believe that peace can be found outside ourselves through relationships, possessions, achievements, or even through travel. However, this pursuit of external peace often leads to frustration and disillusionment. True peace is not something that can be acquired from the outside, it must be cultivated from within. Learning to stop seeking peace externally and to foster it internally is essential for achieving lasting tranquility and fulfillment. The quest for external peace often begins with the belief that happiness and serenity are contingent upon specific circumstances. We think, if I just had that job, if I could only find the right partner, or if I could take that vacation, then we would finally experience peace. This mindset places our sense of well-being in the hands of external factors that are often beyond our control. The danger in this is that circumstances are inherently transient. What brings you peace today may be fleeting, leading you to continually chase after the next thing. This cycle creates a perpetual state of dissatisfaction, as the external factors we rely on for peace can shift or vanish at any moment. To break free from this cycle, it's crucial to recognize that true peace is an internal state. It arises from a deep sense of self-acceptance, self-awareness, and inner balance. When you learn to cultivate peace within yourself, external circumstances become less significant in determining your emotional state. This doesn't mean that external situations won't affect you at all. Rather, it means that your response to those situations is no longer dictated by them. You develop resilience and equanimity, allowing you to navigate life's ups and downs with grace. One of the first steps in cultivating internal peace is mindfulness. Mindfulness involves being fully present in the moment, without judgment or distraction. It allows you to connect with your thoughts, feelings, and sensations in a non-reactive way. When you practice mindfulness, you begin to notice how often your mind wanders to the past or the future, creating unnecessary stress or anxiety. By bringing your awareness back to the present, you create a space for peace to emerge. Simple practices such as meditation, deep breathing exercises, or mindful walking can help anchor you in the here and now, enabling you to cultivate a sense of inner calm. Another essential aspect of finding peace within is letting go of the need for external validation. We often seek approval from others to feel good about ourselves, measuring our worth against their expectations. This reliance on external validation can lead to feelings of inadequacy and insecurity. To find true peace, it's important to cultivate self-acceptance. This means recognizing that you are enough just as you are, without needing to prove your worth to anyone. Embrace your uniqueness, flaws and all. When you learn to value yourself internally, the opinions of others carry far less weight, and you can experience peace regardless of external circumstances. In conclusion, the journey towards inner peace and self-acceptance is a transformative process that requires patience, practice, and a willingness to let go of external influences. By silencing the inner critic, stopping the habit of dwelling on the past, surrendering the need to control, and ceasing the search for peace outside ourselves, we can cultivate a deeper sense of fulfillment and joy. Remember, true peace resides within you, waiting to be embraced. Thank you for your attention, and may you find the strength and courage to embark on this empowering journey toward inner tranquility. Ladies and gentlemen, today we embark on a journey into the vast, uncharted territory of the mind, a place where the real work of transformation begins. Your mind, dear friends, is the most powerful tool you possess, and to develop a strong mindset, we must first understand the foundation upon which strength is built. Everything in life begins with thought. It is the invisible force that shapes our reality, the unseen architect behind our experiences. Whether we are aware of it or not, our thoughts are constantly creating our world. They influence our beliefs, direct our actions, and determine the outcomes we experience. The power of thought is immense, and understanding how to harness it is key to transforming not only our mindset but also our entire life. At the most basic level, thoughts are the foundation upon which everything else is built. Every achievement, every relationship, every challenge we face begins with a thought. If you look back on any significant event in your life, you will notice that before it manifested in the physical world, it first took shape in your mind. You imagined it, contemplated it, perhaps even worried about it, and then it became your reality. This is because thoughts are like seeds. They grow and take root in our consciousness, and with enough attention and focus, they eventually manifest as circumstances in our lives. The true power of thought lies in the fact that we are in control of it. While it may seem at times that thoughts come and go at random, we are not at the mercy of our thinking. We have the ability to direct our thoughts, to focus on what we want rather than what we fear. This is the key to creating the life we desire. The mind is a powerful tool, but like any tool, it requires skill and practice to use effectively. When we become mindful of our thinking patterns, we can begin to cultivate thoughts that serve us rather than those that hinder us. It is important to recognize that thoughts are not passive. Every thought carries energy, and that energy can either be constructive or destructive. Positive, empowering thoughts create a sense of well-being, inspire action, and attract opportunities. On the other hand, negative, limiting thoughts create fear, self-doubt, and obstacles. The law of attraction, a concept that many are familiar with, is based on this very principle. Like attracts like. The thoughts we hold most consistently in our mind are the ones that shape our reality. If we consistently think about lack, limitation, or failure, we are likely to experience those very things. Conversely, if we think about abundance, success, and joy, we will begin to attract those experiences into our lives. One of the most powerful aspects of thought is its ability to shape our beliefs. Beliefs are simply thoughts that we have accepted as true. They are the mental filters through which we view the world. If we believe that life is difficult and full of struggle, then that is exactly what we will experience. Our thoughts create a self-fulfilling prophecy. This is why it is so important to be mindful of the thoughts we entertain on a daily basis. The thoughts we allow to dominate our mind will eventually crystallize into beliefs, and those beliefs will dictate our actions and outcomes. Yet, changing our thoughts is not always easy. We have often spent years, even decades, thinking in certain ways, and these patterns of thought become deeply ingrained. But with awareness and intention, we can begin to shift our thinking. It starts with recognizing the thoughts that are holding us back, the ones that are rooted in fear, doubt, or negativity. Once we become aware of these thoughts, we can begin to replace them with new, empowering ones. This requires practice, but over time our new thoughts will become our new reality. To harness the power of thought, we must become conscious creators of our mental landscape. We must choose thoughts that align with the life we want to create. This is not about ignoring challenges or pretending that difficulties do not exist. Rather, it is about shifting our focus to solutions, possibilities, and opportunities. It is about cultivating a mindset that is rooted in abundance, faith, and optimism. The power of thought is the power to create. By mastering our thoughts, we gain mastery over our lives. When we choose thoughts that uplift, inspire, and empower us, we unlock the potential to transform not only our circumstances, but also our entire experience of life. Imagination is often dismissed as mere fantasy, a whimsical escape from reality, yet it is far more powerful than we tend to acknowledge. In truth, imagination is the very foundation upon which reality is built. Everything we experience in the physical world first takes shape in the mind. It is the creative force that allows us to transcend our current circumstances and envision a different, better future. Imagination is not just an idle daydream, it is the seed of all creation. At its core, imagination is the act of forming mental images or concepts of things that are not immediately present to the senses. But what many fail to realize is that these mental images are not confined to the mind, they have a direct impact on the reality we experience. What you consistently imagine becomes your dominant focus, and what you focus on, you attract into your life. The ability to imagine is the starting point of all human achievement. Every invention, every work of art, every breakthrough in science or technology began as a figment of someone's imagination. The true power of imagination lies in its ability to transform your inner world, which in turn transforms your outer world. We live in a universe governed by laws, one of which is that your external reality mirrors your internal state. When you imagine something vividly and consistently, you begin to feel as though it is real. This feeling, this inner conviction, sends a signal to your subconscious mind, which then works to align your actions and environment with the vision you hold in your imagination. In other words, what you imagine with feeling becomes your reality over time. Imagination is not merely about creating new things, it is also a tool for reshaping your current reality. When faced with challenges or obstacles, your imagination allows you to see beyond the present difficulties and envision solutions. It allows you to mentally rehearse success before it happens. Athletes, for example, often use mental imagery to practice their performances in their minds before competing. By doing so, they program their subconscious mind to expect success, and this expectation becomes reality in the physical world. The same principle applies to all aspects of life. One of the key elements of using imagination effectively is the ability to imagine from a place of belief rather than hope. Hoping for something to happen keeps you in a state of lack, because hope implies that you are uncertain of the outcome. But when you imagine with the conviction that what you desire is already yours, you enter a state of knowing, a state where the lines between imagination and reality begin to blur. This is where true power lies, the ability to live as though your desired outcome has already manifested, even if the physical evidence has not yet caught up. Living from your imagination requires a level of mental discipline. Many people allow their imagination to run unchecked, often imagining worst-case scenarios or focusing on what they fear. This is a misuse of the creative power of the mind. Just as imagination can create positive outcomes, it can also create negative ones if it is dominated by fear, doubt, or limitation. The key is to direct your imagination deliberately, focusing on what you want to experience rather than what you wish to avoid. Another important aspect of imagination is its role in shaping your self-image. How you see yourself in your imagination is how you will behave in reality. If you imagine yourself as confident, capable, and successful, your actions will align with that image. If, on the other hand, you imagine yourself as unworthy or inadequate, you will subconsciously act in ways that reinforce that belief. The self-image you hold in your imagination is a powerful determinant of your behavior and ultimately your results. One might argue that imagination is intangible, that it has no real substance. But consider this: everything in your physical reality once existed only in someone's mind. The house you live in, the phone you use, the clothes you wear, all were first imagined by someone before they became physical objects. This is the nature of imagination. It precedes reality. What you imagine today, you will experience tomorrow. To truly harness the power of imagination, you must learn to see it as a tool for creating your reality, not just escaping from it. Imagination is not a retreat from the world, it is the very force that shapes it. By consciously directing your imagination, by living from the vision of what you desire, rather than the constraints of your current circumstances, you tap into an endless well of creative potential. When you use your imagination in this way, you will find that the reality you once only dreamed of begins to take form around you. In this sense, imagination is not separate from reality, it is the source of it. Assumptions are far more powerful than we often realize. They are the silent architects of our lives, shaping our reality without us even being fully aware of it. The concept that assumption precedes manifestation suggests that what we assume to be true, whether consciously or unconsciously, has a profound influence on what actually materializes in our lives. Our beliefs and assumptions are the lenses through which we view the world, and these perceptions directly impact the outcomes we experience. Every thought we entertain is a seed that has the potential to grow into reality, but it is our assumptions, our deeply held beliefs about what is possible and what we deserve, that determine which thoughts take root and which fall away. Assumptions are the mental habits that we return to again and again, often without questioning their validity. They create a framework for how we see ourselves, others, and the world at large. If our assumptions are rooted in limitation, lack, or fear, then our reality will reflect those limitations. Conversely, when we assume abundance, success, and possibility, we begin to attract those experiences into our lives. The power of assumption lies in its ability to influence both our conscious and subconscious minds. The subconscious, which plays a critical role in shaping our reality, does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts whatever we consistently assume to be true. Over time, these assumptions solidify into beliefs, and those beliefs guide our actions, decisions, and perceptions. In this way, our assumptions become self-fulfilling prophecies. If we assume we are capable and deserving, we act in ways that lead to success. If we assume the opposite, we create barriers to our own progress. One of the most important principles of assumption is that it precedes manifestation. This means that before we see evidence of something in our outer world, we must first assume its reality in our inner world. This is the essence of faith, not blind hope, but a deep inner conviction that what we desire is already ours. The act of assuming the fulfillment of a wish even when there is no physical evidence to support it, creates a mental state that aligns us with the very outcome we seek. By living as though our desires are already realized, we shift our vibration and attract experiences that confirm and reinforce that assumption. This process may sound simple, but it requires a deliberate shift in mindset. Most people base their assumptions on their current circumstances. They see what is in front of them, whether it's lack, limitation, or failure, and assume that this is all there is. They allow their external world to dictate their internal state, not realizing that it is the internal state that ultimately shapes the external. To manifest something new, we must break free from the habit of letting our current reality define our future. Instead, we must learn to live from the end, to mentally place ourselves in the position of having already achieved our desired outcome. For example, if you desire success in your career, you must assume the feeling of success before any tangible success is visible. This doesn't mean simply wishing for success, it means fully embodying the mindset, emotions, and behaviors of someone who is already successful. When you carry yourself as though you have already achieved your goal, you begin to attract the people, opportunities, and resources that will make that goal a reality. In essence, you are aligning your internal state with the external result you desire, and the universe responds by bringing that result into being. However, it is important to note that assumptions are not passive. They require persistence and commitment. In the face of obstacles or delays, it can be tempting to revert to old patterns of thinking, allowing doubt to creep in. But those who master the power of assumption understand that consistency is key. Even when the outer world seems unchanged, they hold fast to their assumption of the desired outcome, trusting that manifestation is already underway. This steadfastness, this ability to remain anchored in the assumption of success, is what ultimately brings about the manifestation. Furthermore, assumptions are not limited to grand, life-changing desires. They shape every aspect of our daily lives, from our relationships to our health to our finances. If you assume that people will treat you with respect, you will unconsciously project an energy that invites respect. If you assume that your health will improve, you will be more likely to engage in behaviors that support that assumption. In every area of life, what we assume to be true becomes the foundation upon which reality is built. The principle that assumption precedes manifestation is a reminder of our creative power. We are not passive observers of life, waiting for circumstances to dictate our experience. Instead, we are active participants, shaping our reality through the assumptions we hold. When we consciously choose assumptions that align with the life we desire, we step into our true power as creators, and manifestation becomes not just a possibility, but an inevitability. Living from the end is a concept that invites you to imagine and embody the feeling of having already achieved your desired outcome, even before any physical evidence of it appears. It's about shifting your mental and emotional state from one of wanting or hoping for something to one of believing that it is already yours. By doing so, you align yourself with the reality you wish to create, allowing it to unfold naturally in your life. This principle is rooted in the idea that your inner state of being, your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions directly influences your outer reality. At its core, living from the end is about assuming the state of the wish fulfilled. This means that rather than waiting for external circumstances to change before you feel successful, fulfilled, or happy, you generate those feelings within yourself now. You begin to think, feel, and act as though your goal has already been accomplished. This shift in consciousness transforms how you interact with the world around you. It allows you to move through life with confidence and clarity, knowing that what you desire is not something you need to chase, but something you are already in possession of mentally and emotionally. For example, if you are looking to improve your financial situation in Pakistan, where economic challenges are often felt acutely, living from the end could mean that instead of focusing on the current difficulties or scarcity, you embody the mindset of someone who has already achieved financial stability. You imagine how it would feel to have financial freedom, how you would make decisions, how you would carry yourself, and what your daily routine might look like. When you mentally place yourself in that position, you start to adopt behaviors, attitudes, and opportunities that reflect that reality, regardless of your current situation. The process of living from the end requires a shift from a reactive mindset, where you allow your present circumstances to dictate your feelings and actions, to a proactive mindset, where your inner state creates your external conditions. If your current reality doesn't match your desired outcome, you don't dwell on what's lacking. Instead, you focus on cultivating the emotional and mental state that corresponds to having already achieved your goal. In doing so, you change your vibration and begin to attract circumstances that align with your new state of being. This concept can be especially powerful when applied to areas like personal growth, career advancement, or even national challenges. For instance, consider the recent developments in Pakistan's tech industry, which is beginning to flourish despite broader economic difficulties. Entrepreneurs and innovators in the country are living from the end, imagining themselves as part of a thriving tech ecosystem. Even in the face of obstacles, they are operating with a mindset that their success is inevitable, which in turn is contributing to the growth of the sector. They are not waiting for the perfect conditions to start. They are living in the mindset that Pakistan will become a hub for technology and innovation, and their actions are helping manifest that vision. Living from the end is not about ignoring reality or pretending that challenges don't exist. Rather, it's about recognizing that your internal state of mind has a powerful influence over how those challenges unfold. When you focus on the solution rather than the problem, and when you assume the feeling of your desired outcome, you begin to see opportunities and resources that were previously hidden. You move with purpose and conviction, and others respond to that energy. In this way, living from the end becomes a powerful tool for navigating not only personal challenges, but also larger societal ones. To fully embrace this approach, you must also practice patience and persistence. Manifesting your desires through living from the end does not mean results will come instantly. There may be moments of doubt or periods where it seems like nothing is changing. But just as the seed takes time to grow after it is planted, your desires will take time to materialize in the physical world. The key is to remain steadfast in your mental and emotional state, continually returning to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even when external conditions suggest otherwise. In a country like Pakistan, where uncertainty can sometimes cloud the path forward, living from the end offers a powerful way to stay grounded and focused on a brighter future. Whether you are working toward personal goals or contributing to the development of your community, living from the end allows you to maintain a clear vision of success, even when the road is difficult. By embodying the feelings and mindset of someone who has already achieved their dreams, you not only transform your own life but also contribute to the collective growth and progress of the society around you. Living from the end is about taking control of your inner world and using it to shape your outer world. When you can imagine yourself in possession of your desires and live as though they are already a reality, you unlock the creative power of your mind. Persisting beyond appearances is a practice that requires faith, discipline, and a deep understanding of the power of the mind. It is about maintaining your vision, your focus, and your belief in your desired outcome, even when external circumstances seem to contradict it. Most people allow the world they see to dictate their thoughts, emotions, and actions. They look at their current situation, see lack or failure, and assume that this is all there is. However, to truly manifest change, one must persist beyond these appearances and hold fast to the inner vision of what they wish to create. The external world is constantly shifting and can often present situations that appear contrary to our goals or desires. Whether it's a financial challenge, a difficult relationship, or an unforeseen setback, these circumstances can easily shake our confidence if we are too focused on them. Persisting beyond appearances means recognizing that what we see in the physical world is not the ultimate reality. It is simply a reflection of past thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. If you allow yourself to get caught up in appearances, you lose sight of the creative power that lies within you. At its core, this practice is about understanding that reality is shaped not by external conditions but by your internal state. Everything you experience in the physical world, is a result of your dominant thoughts and beliefs. Therefore, when appearances seem negative or contrary to what you want, they should not be taken as fixed or final. Instead, they are temporary manifestations that can be transformed by changing your inner state. The key is to persist in the belief that what you desire is already yours, regardless of what the outer world currently reflects. One of the most common obstacles to persisting beyond appearances is doubt. When you face challenges that seem insurmountable, it is natural to question whether your efforts are worthwhile. In these moments, it is crucial to remember that doubt is simply a reflection of the mind's attachment to what is seen, not what is possible. The greater your ability to hold on to the vision of your desired outcome, the more you can transcend doubt and maintain faith in the unseen. It is the ability to believe in something before it manifests that separates those who achieve their dreams from those who remain bound by their current circumstances. Persisting beyond appearances also requires resilience. There will inevitably be moments when progress seems slow or non-existent. But during these times, it is essential to remind yourself that change is often happening beneath the surface, even if you cannot yet see it. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a tree, the seeds of your thoughts and beliefs are working in unseen ways to bring about your desired outcome. It is your job to nurture these seeds with patience, faith, and unwavering persistence. The moment you allow doubt or frustration to take over, you risk uprooting the very progress you have been making. This approach can be applied to any area of life. Consider someone striving for success in their career. Early failures, lack of recognition, or missed opportunities might seem to suggest that success is out of reach. However, if that person remains focused on their vision, continually believing in their ability to succeed despite these setbacks, they are more likely to create the conditions for success. Their persistence beyond appearances keeps them aligned with the reality they want to create, even when the outer world has yet to catch up. Another example might be found in personal relationships. Sometimes healing a damaged relationship can seem impossible when conflict or misunderstanding appears too deep to resolve. But if you persist in believing in the possibility of harmony and approach the situation with patience and love, the outer circumstances may gradually shift to reflect the inner peace you have cultivated. Instead of reacting to the immediate appearance of discord, you remain focused on the desired outcome, understanding, forgiveness, and connection. What makes persisting beyond appearances so powerful is that it frees you from being a passive observer of life, merely reacting to circumstances. Instead, you become an active creator of your reality. You are no longer swayed by the ebb and flow of external events, because you understand that these events are not the source of your power. Your true power lies in your ability to shape your inner world, which in turn transforms the outer world. This practice requires discipline, especially in a world where we are constantly bombarded with distractions and negative influences. It demands that you take control of your thoughts and remain focused on your desired outcome, even when everything around you seems to suggest otherwise. But with practice, persisting beyond appearances becomes second nature, and you begin to see the tangible results of your inner work. Persisting beyond appearances is about cultivating an unshakable belief in your creative power. It is about trusting that what you hold in your mind and heart is more real than the temporary conditions of the external world. When you persist in this belief, you unlock the potential to manifest anything you desire, no matter how unlikely it may seem in the present moment. Mental discipline and focus are two of the most powerful tools we possess for creating the life we desire. In a world full of distractions, noise, and constant demands for our attention, mastering the art of focus and maintaining mental discipline are essential to achieving any significant goal. Without them, even the most brilliant ideas and well-laid plans can quickly become scattered, unfocused, and ultimately unfulfilled. Mental discipline and focus enable us to direct our thoughts, energy, and actions in a way that aligns with our desires, allowing us to navigate life's challenges with clarity and purpose. Mental discipline starts with the ability to control one's thoughts. Many people live at the mercy of their minds, allowing their thoughts to drift from one thing to another without direction or purpose. The undisciplined mind is reactive, jumping from worry to doubt, from hope to fear, often driven by external circumstances rather than internal intention. Mental discipline, however, requires taking conscious control of your thoughts, choosing what to focus on, and not allowing distractions or negative patterns to derail you. This is where focus comes into play. Focus is the ability to concentrate your attention on a specific task, goal, or vision for an extended period without allowing external stimuli or internal doubts to pull you off course. Focused attention magnifies the power of your efforts. When you concentrate fully on a task or goal, you engage more deeply with it, making you more productive and effective. More importantly, focus helps you filter out irrelevant or distracting information, allowing you to hone in on what truly matters. The synergy of mental discipline and focus is what turns mere wishful thinking into concrete action. For instance, if you have a goal to improve your health, you must discipline your mind to think consistently about the end result, what it feels like to be healthy, the habits you need to cultivate, and the changes you need to make. Without discipline, your thoughts might constantly drift to the temptations of unhealthy habits, or you might easily get discouraged by setbacks. Focus helps you stay on track by allowing you to give full attention to the actions and steps necessary to achieve your goal, rather than being distracted by short-term cravings or challenges. Mental discipline is not about suppressing or ignoring negative thoughts or emotions, but about being aware of them and choosing not to let them control you. It's about cultivating the ability to observe your thoughts without getting caught up in them. This practice, often referred to as mindfulness, can be incredibly empowering. When you are able to step back from your thoughts and emotions, you create space between yourself and your reactions. This space gives you the opportunity to respond intentionally rather than react impulsively, which is crucial in maintaining focus on your long-term goals. Focus also demands that you prioritize your energy and attention. We live in an era of information overload, with endless stimuli coming from social media, news, and various forms of entertainment. If you are not deliberate about where you place your attention, it's easy to become overwhelmed and distracted. Mental discipline helps you recognize what deserves your attention and what doesn't. By cutting out unnecessary distractions, you can devote your full energy to the things that align with your goals, leading to greater progress and success. In conclusion, the principles of mental discipline, focus, persistence beyond appearances, and living from the end all emphasize the power we hold within our minds to shape our reality. Our thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions create the framework for the world we experience, and by mastering these internal processes, we unlock the potential to manifest our deepest desires. Whether it's through cultivating focus, holding fast to our vision despite challenges, or living as if our goals are already achieved, we become active creators of our destiny. By persistently aligning our inner state with the outcomes we seek, we transform both ourselves and the world around us. Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world obsessed with expression. We tweet, we post, we talk, and we seek validation in endless forms. Yet, there is a profound truth often overlooked: happiness does not require an audience. It flourishes, unshaken, in silence. When we are truly happy, it is in our best interest to simply shut up. In a world that constantly encourages us to share, express, and externalize our experiences, the concept of silence may seem foreign, especially when it comes to happiness. Society often teaches us that when something good happens, it's only real when we tell others about it, when we post, tweet, or share it in conversation. But there is a profound truth that many overlook: silence, especially in moments of happiness, holds immense power. When we learn to be quiet in our joy, we discover that the feeling becomes richer, deeper, and more enduring. Happiness is an internal state, an emotion that arises from within, and in its purest form, it needs no external validation. Often the moment we speak about our happiness, we are seeking some form of approval or acknowledgement from others. We want people to notice our joy, to affirm it, to celebrate it with us. But this very act of seeking external validation can dilute the essence of that happiness. The joy which was once a pure, internal experience becomes mixed with the ego's need for attention, recognition, or approval. In that moment, the happiness starts to shift from being something we feel within ourselves to something we need others to validate. There is a profound power in allowing happiness to exist without announcing it. When we keep our joy to ourselves, it becomes more intimate, more personal. It's as though the joy deepens because we are not scattering it by sharing it with the world. Silence allows us to savor the moment fully. We become more aware of the nuances of our happiness, the way it feels in our body, the subtle shifts in our mood, and the calmness that comes with contentment. By not speaking of it, we allow the feeling to fully saturate our being, to settle into us in a way that words often disrupt. Moreover, silence in joy is not just about avoiding the need for validation. It is about preserving the energy of that happiness. Every time we speak, we use energy. We project outwardly and disperse what is within. When it comes to joy, talking too much about it can sometimes dissipate the very energy that sustains it. By keeping silent, we conserve that energy. We allow it to grow, to expand within us, and to radiate more powerfully than words ever could. This quiet form of happiness is often the most profound because it is not reliant on anything external. It simply is. Silence also fosters a deeper connection to the present moment. When we are silent in our happiness, we are more present with it. We are not thinking about how to describe it or how to convey it to others. We are not worried about how it will be received or whether others will approve. We are simply being. In that state of being, we are fully immersed in the experience of joy. It is undiluted, untouched by external forces. This presence allows us to feel happiness more intensely and for a longer duration. It is no longer a fleeting moment, but an ongoing state that we can tap into whenever we choose to remain silent and present. Another benefit of silence in joy is the strength it gives to our inner being. When we can hold on to happiness without the need to share it, we strengthen our inner foundation. We become less dependent on external factors for our happiness. We realize that true joy comes from within and does not need external affirmation. This independence from outside validation makes our happiness more resilient. It becomes less vulnerable to the ups and downs of life because it is not tied to others' opinions or reactions. In learning to embrace silence in moments of happiness, we are not denying ourselves or others anything. Instead, we are giving ourselves the gift of deeper contentment. We are allowing our joy to exist in its most natural form without needing to prove it, share it, or seek validation for it. And in doing so, we find that our happiness becomes more authentic, more grounded, and more lasting. Silence, then, is not the absence of expression, but the most powerful expression of all. It allows joy to speak for itself. In our daily lives, many of our actions, thoughts, and words are often driven by a subtle, almost invisible force, the need for approval. This need stems from the ego, that part of us that craves recognition, validation, and attention. Whether we realize it or not, much of what we do, whether it's sharing an achievement, expressing our opinions, or even showcasing our happiness, is influenced by the ego's desire to be acknowledged by others. However, true fulfillment, especially in moments of joy or success, comes not from seeking external approval, but from quieting the ego and finding contentment within. The ego constantly wants to be seen, heard, and validated. It tells us that our happiness is incomplete unless others notice and affirm it. This is why people often feel compelled to share their accomplishments, their happy moments, or even their thoughts and opinions with the world. It's not necessarily that we want to show off, but there's a deeper drive within us, the ego's need to be validated by external sources. It thrives on the responses it gets, whether it's praise, admiration, or even envy from others. But this pursuit of approval is a trap. It takes us further from the real essence of joy and fulfillment, making our happiness dependent on external factors that are beyond our control. When we rely on external validation to affirm our worth or happiness, we place our sense of self in the hands of others. Our joy becomes fragile, easily influenced by the opinions, judgments, or reactions of those around us. If people respond positively, the ego is satisfied temporarily. But if they don't, or worse, if they criticize or dismiss us, it can shatter our sense of contentment. This dynamic reveals the underlying problem: the happiness we seek through external validation is never stable, never truly secure. It is always vulnerable to the shifting tides of other people's perceptions. Moreover, the ego's need for approval often prevents us from fully enjoying our own successes or moments of happiness. Instead of simply being present in the moment and allowing ourselves to feel the joy, we get caught up in thoughts of how others might perceive it. We begin to think about how we can present our happiness in a way that will impress others, or how we can shape our success to make it more admirable. In this process, the pure, unfiltered joy that we initially felt becomes diluted. The moment is no longer just about us and our personal experience. It becomes about how others will respond to it. True contentment, however, doesn't seek approval from the outside world. It arises from a deep sense of inner satisfaction, from knowing that our worth is not dependent on how others perceive us. When we cultivate this inner sense of fulfillment, we become less concerned with whether others recognize or validate our happiness. We realize that our joy is enough in itself. It doesn't need to be broadcasted or endorsed by anyone else. This inner contentment is self-sufficient. It is not shaken by criticism, nor is it inflated by praise. It simply is. Learning to avoid the ego's need for approval requires a shift in perspective. It involves recognizing that seeking validation from others is not only unnecessary but can also be detrimental to our sense of peace and happiness. We must learn to trust in our own experiences and feelings without needing them to be affirmed by anyone else. This doesn't mean we can't share our joys or accomplishments with others. It means we no longer share them from a place of seeking validation. Instead, we share them because we are already content within ourselves, and the sharing becomes a way of expressing that contentment, not a way of seeking approval. When we stop feeding the ego's need for approval, we find a deeper sense of freedom. We are no longer tied to the reactions of others, no longer swayed by their opinions. Our happiness becomes more authentic, more grounded in who we are rather than in how we are perceived. This freedom allows us to experience life more fully, without the constant need to measure ourselves against others' expectations. We begin to understand that true joy comes from within, and that it cannot be amplified or diminished by anyone else's recognition. In this quiet space, free from the ego's demands, we find peace. We no longer need to prove anything to anyone. We no longer need to seek approval or validation from the outside world. Our happiness is complete as it is, untouched by the judgments or opinions of others. And in this state of inner fulfillment, we discover that the greatest validation we can receive is the simple knowing that we are enough, just as we are. In the process of manifesting our desires, one crucial yet often overlooked aspect is the conservation of energy. Every thought we think, every word we speak, and every action we take requires energy. When we focus on a goal or intention, we are essentially directing our energy toward manifesting that outcome. However, the way we manage and conserve this energy can significantly impact how quickly or effectively our desires come into reality. To manifest effectively, it is essential to understand the importance of energy conservation and how to channel it toward what we truly want. At its core, manifestation is the process of turning thought into reality. This process requires focus, intention, and energy. When we visualize what we want or affirm our desires, we are sending out vibrational signals that align us with the experiences we wish to create. But if our energy is scattered, if we're constantly talking about our plans, sharing our goals prematurely, or doubting ourselves, we weaken that vibrational signal. Instead of building momentum toward manifestation, we are dissipating our energy and slowing down the process. One of the most common ways people dissipate their energy is through excessive talking. When we talk too much about our plans, dreams, or desires, we spread the energy outward instead of focusing it inward. While it may feel satisfying to share our intentions with others, doing so can dilute the potency of our manifestation process. This is because every time we speak about something, we use up energy that could otherwise be directed toward actualizing the desire. Words are powerful, but they must be used wisely. Speaking too soon or too frequently about a goal before it has fully manifested can actually diminish the strength of our intention. When we conserve our energy by maintaining silence or being selective about when and with whom we share our desires, we create a powerful reservoir of focused intent. Instead of dissipating energy by seeking external validation or approval, we allow it to accumulate within us. This creates a stronger vibrational signal that aligns us more directly with the outcome we wish to manifest. Silence, in this sense, becomes a tool of power, allowing us to hold on to our energy until the right moment presents itself for action or expression. Another way energy is lost during the manifestation process is through doubt and negative thinking. When we second-guess our ability to manifest or entertain thoughts of failure, we are not only lowering our vibrational frequency, but also wasting energy on resistance. Every moment spent in doubt or fear is a moment when our energy is being drained away from our goals and directed toward obstacles. To conserve energy for manifestation, it is important to cultivate a mindset of unwavering belief and trust in the process. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending that doubts don't exist. It means choosing to redirect our focus toward what we want, rather than what we fear. Conserving energy also involves maintaining clarity of intention. When we are clear about what we want, we are better able to focus our energy on manifesting it. But when we are unclear, indecisive, or constantly changing our minds, we spread our energy thin. The universe responds to clarity and consistency. When we send mixed signals, our energy becomes fragmented, and so does the manifestation process. By staying focused on a clear vision, we allow our energy to flow directly toward the fulfillment of that vision. Lastly, energy conservation for manifestation involves creating space for rest and reflection. Manifestation is not about constantly pushing or forcing things to happen. It's about aligning with the natural flow of energy and allowing things to unfold in their own time. When we overexert ourselves mentally, emotionally, or physically, we deplete our energy reserves, making it harder to sustain the high vibrations needed for manifestation. Taking time for stillness, rest, and self-care allows us to recharge and restore our energy, so that we can continue to move toward our desires with strength and clarity. Energy conservation is a fundamental principle in the manifestation process. By being mindful of how we use our energy, whether through words, thoughts, or actions, we can ensure that we are channeling it effectively toward the realization of our desires. Speaking less, focusing more, maintaining belief, and allowing space for rest all contribute to the powerful accumulation of energy needed for successful manifestation. When we conserve and direct our energy wisely, we become aligned with the flow of creation, making the journey of manifestation smoother, faster, and more fulfilling. In the realm of personal growth and manifestation, much emphasis is placed on raising one's vibration. However, the true mastery lies not just in raising it, but in learning the subtle art of holding it. Holding your vibration means maintaining a consistent energetic state, even in the face of challenges, distractions, or external circumstances. It's about nurturing an internal stability that allows you to stay aligned with your desires, goals, and higher self, no matter what is happening around you. Every thought, emotion, and action carries a specific vibration. When we are in a high vibrational state experiencing emotions like love, joy, gratitude, or peace, we are aligned with the energies that naturally attract abundance, well-being, and fulfillment. But holding this state requires awareness, discipline, and practice. It's not enough to feel good once in a while to truly harness the power of high vibration. We must learn to sustain it over time. One of the first challenges people face in holding their vibration is the influence of external conditions. It's easy to feel good when things are going well, but what happens when life throws obstacles in the way? A sudden disappointment, a difficult interaction, or a stressful situation can easily lower our vibration if we allow it to. The key to holding your vibration is learning to detach from external circumstances and maintain your inner equilibrium. This doesn't mean denying reality or ignoring challenges, but rather choosing not to let them dictate your emotional state. One powerful way to hold your vibration is through conscious focus. Where you place your attention has a direct impact on your energy. If you focus on what's going wrong, on negative outcomes, or on fear and doubt, your vibration will naturally drop. However, by consciously directing your focus toward what you want, your goals, your desires, your dreams, you can maintain a higher vibrational state even in difficult moments. This requires mental discipline, as the mind tends to gravitate toward problems and negativity. By training yourself to focus on the positive aspects of any situation, or on what you are grateful for, you can keep your energy aligned with higher frequencies. Emotional resilience is another crucial aspect of holding your vibration. Life will inevitably bring ups and downs, but how we respond to these fluctuations determines the vibrational state we maintain. Instead of being reactive to every situation, practice becoming the observer of your emotions. When something negative arises, notice it, acknowledge it, but don't attach to it. Allow the emotion to pass through you without resisting or amplifying it. This ability to observe your emotions without becoming consumed by them is one of the most effective ways to hold your vibration, as it prevents emotional lows from taking root and pulling you out of alignment. Additionally, self-awareness plays a vital role in maintaining a high vibration. Pay attention to your internal dialogue, your habitual thoughts, and the stories you tell yourself. Are they empowering or disempowering? Positive or negative? By becoming more aware of your inner narrative, you can make conscious choices to shift any limiting thoughts that might be lowering your vibration. Holding your vibration is about creating an inner environment that supports your well-being, regardless of what's happening externally. Another important aspect of this art is consistency. It's not enough to meditate once a week or practice gratitude sporadically. Holding your vibration requires consistent effort. Just as physical fitness comes from regular exercise, maintaining a high vibration comes from daily practices that support your energy. This might include meditation, gratitude journaling, visualization, or spending time in nature. Whatever helps you feel aligned, joyful, and peaceful should be incorporated into your daily routine. Consistency builds momentum, and that momentum helps sustain your vibrational state over the long term. It's also essential to understand that holding your vibration is not about perfection. You will have moments when your energy dips, and that's okay. The goal is not to force yourself to be positive all the time, but to develop the resilience and awareness to bring yourself back to a high vibrational state when you notice your energy starting to drop. Over time, the practice of returning to alignment will become more natural, and the periods of low vibration will become less frequent and less intense. Ultimately, the subtle art of holding your vibration is about mastering your inner world. It's about taking responsibility for your energy and learning to sustain the emotional, mental, and spiritual states that align with your highest good. When you hold your vibration, you create a magnetic field that naturally attracts the experiences, people, and opportunities that resonate with your highest self. This practice empowers you to remain grounded in your truth, regardless of external circumstances, allowing you to manifest your desires with greater ease and flow. True contentment is not something that can be given, found, or achieved through external sources. It is self-sufficient, arising from within. In a world where happiness is often pursued through material gains, relationships, or the approval of others, the notion of self-sufficient contentment seems elusive. Yet the deepest form of fulfillment comes when we stop looking outside ourselves for satisfaction and instead cultivate a sense of inner peace and completeness. This kind of contentment does not rely on the ever-changing circumstances of life. It is constant, steady, and enduring. One of the most significant challenges to true contentment is the belief that happiness is something we must acquire. We are often conditioned to think that we will be content once we achieve certain goals, own particular possessions, or are in the right circumstances. We think once I have that job, that relationship, that house, then I will be happy. However, this mindset places our well-being at the mercy of factors outside of our control. The problem with this approach is that external things are impermanent. Even if we achieve what we seek, the satisfaction that follows is often fleeting. The job might not bring as much fulfillment as we thought, the relationship might have its challenges, or the material things might lose their appeal over time. Contentment, when rooted in external conditions, is always fragile. It fluctuates as our circumstances change. If our happiness depends on things outside of ourselves, we are constantly at risk of losing it whenever those things change or disappear. This leads to a cycle of endless seeking, where we are always chasing the next thing, believing it will bring lasting contentment. Yet no matter how much we acquire or achieve, the feeling of completeness remains out of reach, because true contentment cannot be found externally. Self-sufficient contentment, on the other hand, comes from cultivating a deep sense of inner peace. It is the understanding that we are enough as we are, and that we do not need anything outside of ourselves to feel whole. This kind of contentment arises from self-acceptance, gratitude, and the realization that everything we truly need for happiness is already within us. It is not dependent on circumstances, but is rooted in a stable, internal foundation. One way to develop this inner contentment is through the practice of mindfulness and presence. When we learn to be fully present in the moment, we realize that there is a simple joy in just being. We are not focused on what we lack or what we need to acquire. We are simply aware of what is, here and now. This awareness brings a sense of peace, because it takes us out of the constant striving and into the experience of the present moment. In that space, we realize that we don't need to change anything to feel content. We can be content right now, just as things are. Gratitude is another key to self-sufficient contentment. When we focus on what we have rather than what we lack, we shift our mindset from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude allows us to appreciate the small moments, the simple pleasures, and the things we often take for granted. By cultivating gratitude, we train ourselves to see the richness of life as it is, rather than always focusing on what's missing. This shift in perspective helps us feel more fulfilled and content with what we already have, reducing the need to seek contentment from outside sources. Self-acceptance also plays a crucial role in developing self-sufficient contentment. Many of us believe that we need to be different, better, more successful, more attractive in order to be happy. This constant pressure to improve or change ourselves keeps us in a state of discontent. However, when we learn to accept ourselves as we are, with all our imperfections, we release the need to constantly strive for some future version of ourselves. We begin to understand that we are worthy of contentment just as we are, and this acceptance brings a profound sense of peace. True contentment is a state of being that doesn't depend on external factors. It's not about having everything we want, it's about realizing that we are already whole, regardless of what we have or don't have. It is self-sufficient because it is not rooted in things that change or fade. Instead, it comes from within, from a deep sense of inner peace, acceptance, and gratitude. When we cultivate this kind of contentment, we are no longer at the mercy of life's ups and downs. We become grounded in a sense of completeness that nothing outside of ourselves can take away. Speech is one of the most powerful tools we possess, enabling us to communicate, express emotions, and share ideas. It shapes our relationships, influences perceptions, and drives social change. Yet, as powerful as speech can be, it is not always a necessity. In fact, speech, when used mindlessly or excessively, can sometimes diminish the very impact we seek. When we learn to understand speech as a tool rather than a necessity, we gain control over our words, becoming more intentional and deliberate in their use. This approach can lead to deeper connections, greater clarity, and more profound influence in our lives. Many of us have been conditioned to believe that communication primarily happens through words. We speak to fill silence, to explain ourselves, to connect with others. However, we often fail to recognize the value of silence and the energy that lies in withholding speech. Silence has its own power, and when we learn to embrace it, we begin to realize that not everything needs to be said. Often the most meaningful connections, moments of understanding, and reflections occur in the spaces between words. Speech, when overused or misused, can dilute its own power. Consider how we sometimes speak impulsively, filling the air with words that serve no real purpose. We may talk about our plans or dreams before they are fully formed, seeking validation or approval from others. Or we may speak out of a need to control a situation or influence an outcome, only to realize that the more we say, the less we are truly heard. In these instances, words become noise rather than meaningful communication. Instead of using speech to deepen our connections or advance our goals, we scatter our energy and reduce our impact. When we treat speech as a tool, we become selective about when and how we use it. Like any tool, words should be wielded with intention and precision. This doesn't mean we become silent or aloof, but rather that we become mindful of what we say and why we say it. Before speaking, we can ask ourselves, what is my intention here? Is my speech necessary in this moment? Am I adding value, or am I speaking out of habit, insecurity, or a desire for attention? By reflecting on these questions, we can avoid unnecessary speech and ensure that our words carry more weight when we do choose to speak. Moreover, speech is only one form of communication. Non-verbal cues such as body language, facial expressions, and eye contact often convey more than words ever could. In many cases, what is left unsaid speaks louder than the words themselves. So, for instance, a compassionate look, a supportive touch, or simply being present with someone can communicate understanding and empathy far more powerfully than any spoken reassurance. When we view speech as just one of many tools in our communication toolbox, we open ourselves to the richness of these other forms of expression. In relationships, the art of using speech wisely can transform the way we connect with others. We often feel the need to explain ourselves, justify our actions, or offer advice when someone shares their struggles with us. However, in many cases, listening in silence can be far more powerful than offering words. When we hold space for someone without feeling the need to fill it with our own thoughts or solutions, we allow them the freedom to process their emotions, come to their own insights, and feel truly heard. Speech, in these moments, becomes unnecessary, and silence serves as a profound tool for connection. In the realm of personal growth and self-awareness, learning when to speak and when to remain silent can be transformative. Mindful speech encourages us to slow down and reflect before expressing our thoughts, leading to greater clarity and authenticity. At the same time, silence allows us to listen more deeply, not just to others, but to ourselves. In moments of stillness, we can connect with our inner wisdom, gaining insights that might have been drowned out by the noise of constant talking. When we stop feeling the need to speak all the time, we create space for deeper self-reflection and personal growth. In conclusion, speech is a powerful tool, but it's not always a necessity. By recognizing the value of silence and using our words with intention, we can communicate more effectively, connect more deeply, and conserve our energy for moments when our words truly matter. Speech, when used mindfully, becomes a tool for clarity, influence, and authentic connection, while silence allows us to listen, reflect, and grow. By mastering the balance between speech and silence, we enhance the quality of our relationships and our